Engines roar, the night is bright, crowds alive under the lights, speeding fast, hearts racing wild, chasing dreams like a child. Rubber burns, the tracks aflame, who will rise to win the fame? Friday night, the stakes are high, in the blink cars fly by. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound. Drivers push on every turn, feel the heat, feel the burn. Tires screech, racing so close, eyes sharp tight as a ghost. Adrenaline in every vein, under stars pushing through rain. Side by side, sparks in the night, every lap chasing the light. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with the MNT Cup Series. Here live for the second race of the second season here from the beautiful Kansas Speedway. Drivers out on the racetrack right now getting their qualifying laps in, as qualifying slowly but surely coming to a close is Tony J. Ludi coming in, showing the love. What's good, Mr. Ludi? Ludi coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast over on the Facebook stream. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back at it for race number 2 here this evening. Race number 2 about to get underway here on Peacemaker Gaming, as drivers out there on the racetrack, they're laying down some very good lap times on the track here. Drivers getting ready to rock and roll, and right now it's week 1 winner out in front here with the quick time, the 28 ride, Johnny Brugg, quickest so far in this qualifying session. Zach Roethlisberger currently second fastest out there in the Valvoline Cummins number 6 machine. And then Justin Bentley gonna fall back to 4th here as Wesley Donaldson in the WBD Diecast 91 ride will jump up into that 3rd spot here on the qualifying time sheet. We do see the 07, the high velocity TV ride of Christian Delgado out there on the racetrack. We see John Fowler in the field as well. Zachary Nerney there as well. Nerney in that number 31 looking for a big run. Yusuf Ghali out there on the racetrack. The Vans number 54. He's back at it again with the white Vans there on the speedways. The 54 ride rolling on the racetrack. Corey Rainey out there as well in the Bubba Wallace inspired Jordan number 4 ride out there on the racetrack. And we'll see William Burton out there as well. The 83 looking for a big run. We do see Braxton DeWeese out there as well as DeWeese in the Interstate Ford 08 ride, the 008 ride on the racetrack there. The 00 is a little hard to see there, but the 008 currently out there on the racetrack looking for a big lap time. We'll see where that slots him in here as he heads down across the line. I do believe that will get his laps started here, so starting his qualifying run on the evening. Brian Huntley Jr., Anthony Ludi, Chris Campbell, and Josh Small yet to qualify here in this one as 2-1-3 Simware 213 Simware not only coming in with the like on the stream, but also coming in with the share on the broadcast as well. Says MNT at Kansas. Let's do this. Let's do it, baby. Let's go. 213 Simware here this evening. Mama Bear Susie Dickinson with the like on the stream, as well as Braxton DeWeese will jump into the 28th position. We see Zachary Nerney out there on the speedway, currently 22nd fastest here, as qualifying is going to come to a close, and that means we will get ready to rock and roll here with our A-Main feature event. Our A-Main about to get underway here from Kansas Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we'll get these drivers loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win here tonight. So these drivers will get loaded in, and starting on the pole in the number 28 ride is the Michigan Machine, the national champions last year, the Michigan University ride of Johnny Brugg, who will start in that pole position. He was able to pick up the win last week, and he is looking to try to go back-to-back here this evening in that 31 machine. As to his outside, it is the Mark Martin-inspired Valvoline Cummins Mustang. Zach Roethlisberger there in position number 2. The WBD diecast number 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson will start in position number 3. To his outside is the 38. Is this the Generator number 38 ride of Storm Patterson there in 4th. Starting in position number 5 in the 16 ride, that is the MNT Motorsports machine of Justin Bentley. And to his outside in the Sim Motion number 44, it's John Ross. Starting in position number 7, his teammate there in the High Velocity TV 07 ride is Christian Delgado. Into his outside in the 82, that is the Smart Food Popcorn number 82 ride of Andrew Pelishi. Starting in position number 9 in the 54 ride, it's the Vans machine of Yusuf Ghali. To his outside in the 48, that is Michael Moquin. And then we see the number 7 of Justin Lewis in the JL Racing number 7 ride. James McRae in the Popeyes number 20 machine will start to his outside. Then we see Max Gamble. That's one of my favorite things to do. Max Gamble in the 51, the Wrangler ride, will start there in 13th. He's got Brett Patterson there to his outside. Bradley King will start there in the 15th spot with Leroy Koblenz in the Sim Motion number 45 to his outside. And then we see the number, let me take a double look here. It's the 15 ride of Chad Coleman, who will start in the, I do believe, the 15th, 16th position, 17th position. John Fowler will start to his outside. Then we see Cliff Adams there as well in the Eagle 104 machine. Zachary Nerney there as well as Chad Coleman, Dave Mayberry, Sean Wilder, Christian Brachter, Corey Rainey, Kerry Klein, Derek Catt, Ronald Lousy, William Burton, Braxton DeWeese, John Small, Brian Huntley Jr., Chris Campbell, Anthony Ludi bringing up the rear of the field as 33 drivers ready to go to battle here at the beautiful Kansas Speedway for a wild night of racing action. Is out in front. The Michigan University number 28 rider Johnny Brugg leads the way as down in back to pit side. It's our pace car. He will set this field loose as we will end all the anticipation with our feature presentation here from Kansas Speedway, as Johnny Brugg, Zach Roethlisberger 1 and 2 will lead us down to the green flag and into corner number 1. The 28 looking to take the advantage, the inside lane, and he is going to get a good run down through 1 and out of 2. He'll clear the 6 rider Roethlisberger and lead us down the back straightaway. Now door to door for position number 2 is 2 wide, 3 wide back here throughout the field. These drivers doing a fantastic job out there on the racetrack, keeping themselves pointed in the right direction. But we do see the caution flag fly early in this one, as the 28 of Johnny Brugg will lead lap number 1 here in our second race of the season. We will take a look back and see what brings out our first caution flag of the day. Some contact a little deeper in the field here. I do believe John Fowler might have been collected in this one. The 22 Sim Motion ride, they get a little stacked up here on the outside lane. Looks like some smoke in front of them already. I'm not sure where that may have happened, but you see the 24 ride sideways right there. That is the 24. Let me double check. The 24, Brett Patterson in the Casey's number 24 ride there. 3 wide down the back straightaway here. Get a little contact there. The 9 ride, the Food City machine, gets some contact into the 24. It kind of stacks them up back there behind him, and as they do, that just piles them all in there up on the high side. Look at everyone sliding around the back part of the racetrack. Heavy contact, heavy damage for a ton of our competitors here in this one as things got out of control in a quick hurry here. John Fowler, one of those drivers first in there, is the 45, the 22, 2 sim motion rides coming together as the 45 try to get checked up. The 22 gets into the back of him. It spins the 45 right down the racetrack. Who's going to clip Sean Wilder right there, sending Wilder up into the driver's side door of the 24, the 45, the 22 coming back together. Nowhere to go for Derek Catt. As Cat gets into it, the 0-4 little contact, then we see more drivers getting stacked up. Kerry Klein up into the outside fence pretty hard right there. The 12 ride sliding through here of Anthony Ludi. He's going to get down onto the apron. Unfortunately, as that body armor number 12 ride bouncing around and washes back up the speedway hard into the outside fence there for that 12 ride, as well as a ton of carnage. Down and into quarter number 3 on our opening lap. A lot of these drivers just really hanging on. Not a whole lot of area for them to go or them to make moves. And we jump on board Derek Catt right here. Nothing for Derek Catt to do except for just hang on and enjoy the ride right there, as he had a bunch of drivers all of a sudden in his lap right here. As oh man, just nothing you can do. Literally nothing you can do if you're Derek Catt right there in that moment. We do see, Leroy Koblenz heavy damage. Anthony Ludi in there as well, getting tons of damage as well. As he drives into this, he sees all this happening here. He tries to get down and out of the way. Unfortunately, as they're still wrecking, he tries to avoid the 22. Gets loose and back up into that fence. Heavy contact, heavy damage for a ton of our competitors as they're down pit side getting repairs done to their race cars. We'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as we started with 33 drivers. And down pit road, there is a lot of drivers doing some work to their right, trying to get their cars pointed back in the right direction. We do see the 22 of John Fowler jumping back out there, but the 24, Brett Patterson, still out there, still down pit side. We do see Sean Wilder rolling back out onto the racetrack as well. We do see Derek Catt coming back out. Cliff Adams rolling back out onto the speedway. Kerry Klein jumping back out here as well, but Patterson still down pit side. Anthony Ludi down there, as well as Leroy Koblenz with tons of damage on those 3 drivers. It'll be tough to see them come back out here and not lose too many laps on the speedway. As the pace car has the lights turned back off, we will get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as the pace car makes that hard left-hand turn once again down pit side, and we go back to Green Flag Racing. Oh baby, they may want to take a look at that one. Maybe an early jump out of the 28 of Johnny Brock. He gets a huge lead right here, but this may be a penalty. As you see that Geico restart zone, this 28 ride is already going here. Let's take a look at this. The 28 ride right here already going, and you can see how much of an advantage that's going to give him down into the Geico restart zone. So if the restart zone is where these cars are supposed to fire, he does have control, but he is already 2-3 car lengths before he even hits the end of the Geico restart zone. He was 2 car lengths before even hitting the start of the Geico restart zone, and look at the lead he gets here. The other driver's not even in the camera shot right there. They're 4, 5, 6 car lengths back down across the line. Is out in front. He continues to lead the way, continues to show these drivers how to get it done, and he's going to use that jump to his advantage here to keep on pulling away from the rest of the field. Zach Roethlisberger there in position number 2. Wesley Donaldson back there in 3rd. John Ross up into position number 4 and looking for more. John Ross was in position here, had a huge lead, and was looking to try to pick up the checkered flag in our opening race from Homestead Miami Speedway last Friday night. He had a huge advantage. Late race caution flag creating a green-white checkered, not one but 2 of them, and unfortunately both of those restarts did not go the way that the 44 rider John Ross was hoping for. Went from looking to pick up an easy win, looking to cruise control into victory lane last Friday, to outside the top 10, and not the finish he was hoping for, but looking to try to rebound here in week number 2 and hoping for better chances in the 38 ride. Storm Patterson gets loose, pancakes the outside fence there through 1 and 2. Heavy right side damage here for the 38. Everyone trying to avoid him here as he cuts down the racetrack. Oh, baby! That one got close for a lot of these competitors, and now he's going to slam into the inside wall here as well. Still down down on the racetrack here. No caution flag for that 38 ride. We'll take a look at it here once again as he just gets loose. All by himself here up on the high side of the racetrack. Car gets loose. He tries to correct it. It overcorrects and pancakes that outside wall. Heavy damage there for Storm Patterson. He is down pit side getting that car repaired now, and unfortunately falling multiple laps down here on the speedway. As Johnny Brugg continues to lead the way, the Michigan University ride at the front of the field. Zach Roethlisberger there in second, trying to hunt him down as that Valvoline number 6 ride is going to be able to close the gap here just ever so slightly, closing in on the back bumper of our race leader. Wesley Donaldson there in third. We see John Ross still hanging out there in position number 4 as the Vans number 54 ride, a Yusuf Ghali up inside the top 5 now, but here comes that 07 of Christian Delgado, going to work back down to his inside, looking to put himself back up and inside the top 5 here in that 07 machine. Justin Bentley right there as well, the outside of the top 5 looking in. Same with Justin Lewis in the JL Racing number 7 ride there in the 8th position. The Smart Food number 82 of Andrew Palishi there in position number 9 on the speedway, and it's Michael Moquin rounding out our top 10 here in the 48 ride. Chad Coleman, James McRae, Max Gamble there in 13th. Then we see Braxton DeWeese, Christian Proctor, our top 15 here on the speedways. Proctor trying to work himself up and through the field. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys been enjoying the racing action so far here in this one, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as these drivers are putting on one heck of a race here already in this one for us, man. Lots to talk about, lots of controversy and contact already on the speedway, really mixing things up, really making things that much better of our race here, as it's given us lots of stuff to watch here on the speedway. And a huge shout out to each and every one of these drivers showing up and showing out on the evening here, as we do see Ronald Luzzi there on the outside of that number 4 rider. Corey Rainey trying to work himself up into the 16th position here for the 46th ride on the speedway. Corey Rainey down low, we'll slide back to the 17th spot. Then we see Bradley King there in the 18th position with Zachary Nerney there in position number 19, and Dave Mayberry rounding out our top 20 here on the speedway. Chris Campbell back there in the 21st spot with Brian Huntley Jr. there behind him in the new lead. That's the Shane Roethlisberger Red Bull number 97 ride out there on the speedway. Then we see the number 39 right there behind him. That is Josh Small in the 23rd spot on the speedway. William Burton back in 24th. Derek Catt there in 25th with John Fowler there in 26th. I do believe that Derek Catt is the first driver one lap down here still on the speedway. We'll double check that and see if Burton is down a lap as well. No. So Derek Catt in the first car, one lap down, and there on the racetrack. The car right there behind him, the 22 with John Fowler. He is the next driver, one lap down. They're trying to race for the free pass position here on the speedways. Sean Wilder back there in position number 27. Heavy front end damage still for the 99 ride, as he is a lap or two down here in that car. Kerry Klein out there as well. Heavy damage still on that Sheriff number 1 machine as well. Storm Patterson down pit road. Same with Cliff Adams off the speedway in the 04. Then we see Brett Patterson down pit side. Anthony Ludi and Leroy Koblenz all off the racetrack, as well as a bunch of drivers tied up in an opening lap wreck on the racetrack. Causing quite a bit of carnage, quite a bit of contact down through 3 and 4 on our opening lap, and it took out a bunch of our competitors, as we just saw Christian Delgado get up into the outside fence right there. Hopefully not too much damage for that 07 ride, as he rolls right now in the 6th position on the speedway. DJ Motorsports coming in says, let's go number 4, Corey Rainey. Cheering on Corey out there on the racetrack as Chris DeWeese says, good evening, race fans. Let's go number 8, Braxton DeWeese. Cheering on Mr. DeWeese out there on the speedways. Braxton working himself slowly but surely up and through the field. The Interstate Ford 008 ride up into the 12th position now on the speedway, and it's currently our hard charger out there on the racetrack, up 16 positions from where he started all the way back in 28th. Now trying to work himself up and into the top 10 here as he's got Michael McGuinn and Chad Coleman right there in front of him that he's trying to track down to put himself inside the top 10 out there on the speedway. As Johnny Brugg continues to lead this race. Brugg out in front, but right there behind him, you see Zach Roethlisberger chilling there in that second position. Wesley Donaldson there in third as Donaldson trying to track down our top 2 here on the speedways. The top 2 starting to separate themselves almost a second back. You will see our 4th place driver, the 44 of John Ross, as Ross trying to hold off Yusuf Ghali here as that Vans machine up and inside the top 5. Christian Delgado, Justin Lewis, Justin Bentley, Andrew Pellishi there in position number 9, and then Chad Coleman in the AC Delco number 15, the winner of our championship race here a few weeks ago. He's able to find victory lane at a racetrack somewhat similar to this at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. So we'll have to wait and see if Coleman can maybe find a way to get to victory lane here in this race and here in season number 2 of the MNT Cup Series. As Johnny Brugg, though, looking for win number 2 here in season number 2 as he got the opening race win at the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. He's trying to back it up with a back-to-back win here to start this season as right there behind him, you see that 91 of Wesley Donaldson trying to track him down. The 6th rider, Zach Roethlisberger, there in third now as the Valvoline Mark Martin throwback paint scheme ride slides back here to that 3rd spot, but he's not done yet. He's going to battle door to door with the 91 down the back straightaway, and as these 2 battle here for that 2nd spot, it's allowing our race leader to open up a bit of a gap, and it's bringing that 44 of John Ross right into the fight here for position number 2 on the speedway. Now John Ross going to work the apron here down across the line, looking for a couple spots here to put himself into that 2nd position on the speedways. Roethlisberger will steal it back away, but the 44 ride looking to pounce right here at this stage of the race, door to door down the back straightaway between him and the 6th ride. But now Donaldson going to give a shove to the back bumper of Roethlisberger, but they stay almost nose to tail. The 44 though drives it in there deep, looking to clear that 6th ride here at a quarter number 4. He's going to move up, doesn't quite clear him as the 6th ride does pancake the outside fence right there. Hopefully no damage for Roethlisberger as he got up into the outside wall. This is exactly what Johnny Brugg wants to see. He wants to see these drivers continue to duke it out back here for that 2nd spot on the speedways. It's tight racing between John Ross and the 6th rider. Roethlisberger is there door to door down the back straightaway. Going to separate here different lines through the corner of quarter number 3 and quarter number 4, and out at quarter number 4 once again the 44 just gonna barely clear the 6th rider Roethlisberger. Roethlisberger not done though. He's gonna jump back to the inside here of this 44 ride, looking to try to get himself back into 2nd as Yusuf Ghali right here gonna join this fight for position number 2. Christian Delgado there, as well as the 91 of Wesley Donaldson slides all the way back now to the 6th position. Justin Lewis, Justin Bentley there in 7th and 8th. The 82 of Andrew Pellishi there in position number 9. Then we see Chad Coleman rounding out our top 10, and right there behind him is our hard charger so far in this race, the 008 of Braxton DeWeese in position number 11 on the speedway, and he has caught up to our 10th place driver Chad Coleman, as that is the battle right there for the top 10 here on the speedway. As Johnny Brugg, though, leads the way, now has John Ross reeling him in a quick hurry. As tires may play a big factor in this race. Drivers maybe early on not pushing as hard as they wanted to, maybe waiting a little bit longer to start to try to move forward here throughout the field. The drivers that led early in this race, sliding backwards ever so slightly, are starting to try to save their tires now and keep themselves out of trouble here on the speedway. So we get a battle here for the race lead, almost door-to-door out at corner number 2. They're going to go door-to-door down the back straightaway. It's a drag race down to corner number 3 as John Ross once again battling with the 28 rider Johnny Brook for the race lead here in the MNT Cup Series in the 44 Sim Motion Majors Garage. Number 44 and John Ross will be our new race leader here this evening from Kansas Speedway. So John Ross out in front as the 28 and Johnny Brook slides back to second. Here comes Yusuf Ghali looking to try to take that second spot quickly back away from that 28. As Wesley Donaldson and Zach Roethlisberger battle back here for the 4th and 5th position. We see the 07 of Christian Delgado right there behind him. The 7 ride of Justin Lewis right there within striking distance in that 7th position, ready to make some moves here himself as John Ross takes this race lead away. A great run in a great drive here for this number 44 so far early on in this race. Johnny Brook able to lead the first 25 laps of this race. Now finds himself back here in second. A little bit of dirty air onto the hood of this 28 ride. We'll have to wait and see how that handles his ride, especially now with Yusuf Ghali going to go for the slide jump here in 3 and 4. He'll slide up in front of the 28. The 28 looking to cross back over here and down to the inside of this 54 ride. A whole head of steam down the straightaway here. That 54 trying to move himself into position number 2, and that's exactly what John Ross wants to see. Wants to see those guys continue to battle back there for that second spot. Maybe burn up their equipment. Hang on, the 28 and Johnny Brook loose out at corner number 2, almost down and off the racetrack and into the inside fence right there. A good piece of driving, able to catch that car, keep it pointed in the right direction. He's going to give up a couple spots right there as he was battling with Yusuf Ghali. Now going to let the 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson go by as well as he slides to position number 4. Well, that could have been a whole lot worse for our early race leader here this evening is Johnny Brook. There in that 4th spot has the 6th ride, the Valvoline machine of Zach Roethlisberger back there behind him. Is Roethlisberger trying to hang on and hold off Andrew Palisci, the 07 of Christian Delgado, the 7 of Justin Lewis, who's going to make it 3 wide there off corner number 4. 3 wide back here for position number 6 on the speedway. The 82 trying to jump up into that 6th spot. You can throw in Justin Bentley into that battle as well as these guys battle here for the 6th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th position on the speedway. You see Jack Coleman a little farther back in that 10th spot. Braxton DeWeese there in 11th. Max Gamble up into 12th here is Michael Moquin back to position number 13 on the speedway. James McRae there in 14th with Christian Proctor rounding out our top 15 in the pickle car. Zachary Nerney there in position number 16 with Corey Rainey, Ronald Lousy. Then we see Dave Mayberry, Bradley King, our top 20 here on the speedway. Josh Small, Brian Huntley Jr., Chris Campbell, William Burton, Derek Catt, Sean Wilder, Kerry Klein, John Fowler down pit side here. Our top 28 is Brett Patterson back out onto the racetrack here in 29th. Storm Patterson off the speedway here in the 38 ride. Same with Cliff Adams and the number 12 ride of Anthony Ludi and the 45 of Leroy Koblenz off the racetrack. So about 4 cars off the speedway and back down behind pit wall. We got a bunch of drivers still with some damage out there on the speedway trying to battle on the racetrack. We're putting on a great show here for us nonetheless. Is out in front, leading the way. It's John Ross. Ross in the Sim Motion Majors Garage, the Slingshot Sim Racing number 44 ride at the front of the field here, showing these drivers how to get it done in the MNT Cup Series here this evening from Kansas Speedway, as he is at the front of the field, 0.6 of a second between himself and Yusuf Ghali. There in second, Wesley Donaldson back in third, and then we see Johnny Brook there in position number 4. Andrew Palisci now up into position number 5 here on the speedway with Christian Delgado, Justin Bentley, Justin Lewis, Zach Roethlisberger, and Jack Coleman, our top 10 here on the speedway. But John Ross showing these drivers how to get it done as a little bit of green flag stops potentially getting started here, as we do see Max Gamble down pit side here. Now this is a fitting name for the driver here, as Max Gamble down pit road. Could be one of our first lead lap drivers to make this pit stop. So maybe just an interesting call, trying to split this race up into, maybe 2 different pit stops. So pitting early here, going to try to use these fresh tires to their advantage to maybe gain some ground, leapfrog some of those drivers in front of them, and have to make at least one more pit stop here before the end of this race. Now, it'll be wild to see if any other of these other drivers can make it all the way to lap 50. If they can make it to lap 50, maybe a little bit past that 50 lap marker, they can make this a one-stop pit stop. Only have to come down pit road one time here on the evening, which could be a big difference maker on putting yourself up into victory lane or not here this evening. So we'll have to wait and see what these strategies are going to be as the 44 gets up, scrubs that outside wall as the laps continue to click down here. Lap 37 up onto the board as my boy Kevin Timmy Bubba coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Bubba? Bubba coming in, smashing that thumbs up here on the broadcast. How are you, brother? Coming in, showing the love here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as these drivers putting on a great race for us here this evening. And we're going to jump into a quick never mind. We're going to jump into a quick never mind right now as here we go, our race leader. Down pit side, the 44, John Ross. Gonna make that hard left-hand turn back down pit road here. So this is gonna be very interesting now. We do see Ronald Lousy down there as well. Lousy down there in that number 46. The 68 ride also down pit side of Chris Campbell. So we got a couple different drivers taking this early pit strategy here into their game plan. So we'll have to wait and see how that works out for them, as now Yusuf Ghali going to be our 3rd race leader as he's going to make that hard left-hand turn. He's going to come down pit side. That will forfeit the race lead back over to Wesley Donaldson. So Donaldson now a new race leader here this evening, one of 4 drivers to be at the front of the field in leading laps here this evening, as Johnny Brogg there in position number 2 as he battles door to door with the 07 of Christian Delgado. Justin Bentley right there as well in the 16, the 82 of Andrew Palaci there as well, as these drivers potentially trying to make sure they can lead a lap out there on the racetrack. But still, the 91 ride yet to come down pit road. We do see Christian Delgado and Johnny Brugg make the hard left-hand turn down pit side. Braxton DeWeese, Zach Roethlisberger also down pit side here, so more drivers making green flag pit stops. Here comes the 9 of Bradley King and a few more cars coming down pit road here as everybody else out there on the racetrack yet to come down pit side here. Only a few drivers have already made these green flag stops, so it's going to be interesting to see when more and more of these competitors will make their way down pit road. Our race leader going to stay out there for at least another lap, as there goes that number 91 of Wesley Donaldson. So what's that? Oh, we see the caution flag fly. This is going to be a major heartbreak for a lot of these drivers. The mid green flag pit stop caution on the racetrack. This is going to trap a lot of drivers a lap down out there on the speedway. As the caution flag coming out, we saw a lot of drivers down pit road. They were currently being lapped here as the 9 ride was getting worked on. We saw John Ross already make that green flag pit stop. Max Gamble, Zach Roethlisberger, Braxton DeWeese, Johnny Brugg, Christian Delgado, all having these issues here. But then we see the 20 ride, the Popeyes number 20 here of James McRae trying to get down pit road here. At least gets down onto the apron. This is going to create our caution flag right there, just on the apron, and unfortunately the rear end goes out and around, and John Ross nowhere to go. One of our race leaders from early in this race who had already made that green flag pit stop, going to get collected in this one, as, man, that is a tough break. A pair of SSR drivers here, the Slingshot Sim Racing drivers, getting collected in this one as the Popeyes, James McRae, down onto the apron. As this car kind of levels out, unfortunately, just kind of steps out and around on him. Rear end comes out. He watches back up the racetrack, and as he does, John Ross, nowhere to go, is going to drive right into the side of him here and create a ton of damage for both the 20 and that 44 ride. Man, that was a heavy hit and a tough break right there for John Ross. Let's see if we can jump on board here with Mr. Ross and get a look here from the helmet cam in exactly what he sees out of the front windshield of this 44. As there goes the 20 ride around, and Unfortunately, he was kind of trying to roll out of the throttle, hoping that the 20 either stayed down low and held the brakes, or hoping that either the 20 went right up and against that outside fence, and unfortunately, sideways there, parked in the middle of the speedway, nowhere to go for John Ross, and not quick enough to get down and out of the way. May take him out of contention here this evening, as that was heavy head-on collision. And now we see caution flag pit stops for all these drivers that did not come down pit road. So it's a big break for Wesley Donaldson, who is our race leader. Justin Lewis, Andrew Palishi there in third. Justin Bentley, Chad Coleman, Michael Moquin, Corey Rainey, Max Gamble, Dave Mayberry, and Christian Proctor now our top 10 here on the Speedway. Brian Huntley Jr. there into 11th, with Josh Small there in 12th. James McRae being scored in our 13th position as Christian Delgado currently looking for this free pass back around here. So they're going to have a little bit less tire than the drivers that have already come down pit side here during this caution break. And there's going to be a few drivers that are going to get the lucky dog back onto the lead lap. And then we're going to see a lot of these drivers take this wave around. We're going to see Christian Delgado, Johnny Brugg, Braxton DeWeese, Zach Roethlisberger, William Burton, all these drivers trying to take that wave around, get back onto the lead lap here, as they are right now scored in front of our race leader. As they're staying there, they're trying to put themselves back into contention. Unfortunately, they're going to have to zoom past the pace car here and put themselves back on the lead lap and have one lap to catch back up to the rear of the field, and they're going to be at a disadvantage. Older tires, a little bit older equipment now than these drivers that just came down pit side, which could hurt them quite a bit, and they're going to be behind all of the other drivers. All the lap down traffic, they're going to have to be behind. All the lead lap traffic, they're going to start behind as well. So all these drivers that are getting that wave around are at a huge disadvantage here during this caution break. What they're hoping for is the cautions breed cautions, and they can kind of balance back out the pit strategy, maybe bounce back out a little bit of their luck here on the Speedway. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing here in just a few more moments. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to go back to battle here in this one, as the action just getting started here on the night, ladies and gentlemen. We've already seen some craziness unfold. Early race caution flag took out a lot of our tough competitors here on the evening, and a couple more piece of contact, a few drivers down pit side, extended period of time. A lot of drivers already out of this race. We started with 33 cars on the Speedway. I do believe we got about I don't even think we have 30 left out there. I think we got about 28, 29 cars still rolling on the Speedway. Everyone else is either down pit side or they are off the racetrack here. We do see Brett Patterson still out there. We do see Sean Wilder rolling back out onto the racetrack in that 99 ride. Still with a ton of front end damage. John Ross down pit side. His night may be over here, so tough break there for him as well, as that would be our 27th place driver on the Speedway. Is Wesley Donaldson ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle, as all the wave around drivers catch back up to the rear of the field here. We'll see them roll up to the back of the pack. They will follow in line and get ready to go back to battle here. Unfortunately, they're going to be behind the 8 ball. It's down through corner number 4 and towards our Geico restart zone. The 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson will hit that throttle and put us back to green flag racing here at Kansas Speedway. So Donaldson out in front with Justin Lewis. That was right there to his outside. We'll settle in here to position number 2. Andrew Palishi here in the Smart Food number 82 ride. Up into position number 3 as we see Justin Bentley, Chad Coleman, our top 5 now on the Speedway. Corey Rainey, Michael Moquin, Christian Proctor, Dave Mayberry Jr., and Brian Huntley Jr. our top 10 here on the Speedway. Josh Small, James McRae, our top of 12, and then we see Max Gamble, Christian Delgado, and all these other drivers that were unfortunately trapped a lap down right there, now getting the wave around and trying to battle back up through the field. You'll take a look back here, you see Johnny Brugg in that Michigan University number 28 ride, trying to work himself up in through the field. Christian Delgado as well as that number 6 ride, as Zach Roethlisberger right there in this fight, trying to get to the front of the pack. The 54 ride there as well, trying to get back up here as well through the field and through the traffic. That is the 54 of Yusuf Ghali. Unfortunately for Yusuf, he is still being scored a lap down out there on the racetrack. I do believe him and the 21 ride of Derek Catt still scored 1 lap down here on the racetrack, as William Burton, currently in the 19th position, is the last driver on the lead lap here. Derek Catt in that free pass position. Would love to see another caution flag and him to get that wave around and back onto the lead lap, and he may get it as they're battling tough back here. 2, 3 wide, almost 4 wide out there on the racetrack, as some of these drivers that got that wave around trying to work themselves up and through the traffic, some of the lap traffic, and some of those other drivers that they were faster than. Here in this one, they're trying to work themselves back up in through the field, trying to get to the front of the pack here. They're going to have their work cut out for them, but so far that 0-7 with Christian Delgado trying to cut right on through him as he rolls to the inside of Josh Small there on the speedway. See the same motion number 46 there as well, still rolling out on the racetrack. That is Ronald Luzzi, as Luzzi there on the speedway. Getting some laps in here. Unfortunately, quite a few laps down for that 46 after getting collected in the first wreck of the evening. Is out in front. Wesley Donaldson leads the way. Donaldson out in front. Justin Lewis there in second. The 16 of Justin Bentley rolling there in position number 3 as we roll just past halfway in and halfway to go here in this one. As we will jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming crank it up. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume. Cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up. Here is our halfway marker. Never mind. Caution flag is going to fly here. So we can't count that one as a crank it up caution flag there, but we will see that yellow flag fly here once again as Bones does says, yeehaw. I see Lousy here. Is it Lousy or Lucy? How do you say Ronald's last name, Bones? That's a question that I've never asked him here. Lucy, Lousy, how does he say it? It could be so many different ways. But Lucy, he says, that's my fam, that's my fam. Bones, you and Lucy are part of the same fam? That's awesome. Love to see that. Love to see that. Family supporting family here on the racetrack. As we'll take a look and see what brings out caution flag number 3 here on the evening, as our third caution flag going to fly. A few drivers getting collected a little deeper in the field. Let's take a look here and see what happens. Is possibly Johnny Brugg in the 28 ride. Led laps early in this race may get collected. The 08 ride in there as well. The 46. The 6 ride of Zach Roethlisberger also getting contact into that one. 20 ride of McRae back into this as well. That's the second caution flag that the 20 ride has been in, and I think that's where this one gets started, is with James McRae a little closer to the front of the field here. He rolls here, he gets loose again at a corner number 4. Ends up making contact with another driver. Looks like he does get contact here as well. Looks like him and Yusuf Ghali going to make a little bit of contact. I'm not sure if he's already slideways there in that 20 ride. Let's take another look at the initial contact here between the 54 and this 20. Comes down the racetrack. Not sure if he gets a little loose, but they both end up making contact. He bounced off the 07 into the 008 ride. Nowhere to go for Roethlisberger. Nowhere to go for the 28 of Brugg. Nowhere to go there for that 08 ride of Braxton DeWeese, as well as DeWeese with quite a bit of damage there in that one. Let's see if we can jump on board here with this 08 ride of Braxton DeWeese and get a good look here at what happens from the windshield here of the 008 ride. As sees that contact, trying to get through it, trying to stay down low, unfortunately gets hooked and spun up into the outside fence. Had to be contacted a couple times there, and quite a bit of damage there for himself. Quite a bit of damage for Mr. Brugg as well as last week's winner. Nowhere to go. Sees that initial contact. Trying to avoid it. Unfortunately, he drives right into it. Gets a little ran over right there as well, and heavy damage into that fence. And we'll see the caution flag come back out. So cautions breeding cautions. here at Kansas Speedway. So we'll get them ready to rock and roll here once again. Drivers making some pit stops. Drivers making sure their cars are absolutely perfect out there on the speedway. We do see that the 21 rider Derek Cat will get the wave around and back onto the lead lap here, so he gets that free pass as Braxton DeWeese try to keep himself here on the lead lap on the speedway. Looks like that car, for the most part, fairly clean out there. Not too much damage as Losi is my pronunciation of it. Okay, Losi. Would have never have guessed that. No one has came in and told me how to say his name. I've struggled with that name for I don't know how long, brother. I don't know how long. Between the Slingshot AMR Racing Cup Series on Wednesday nights, we see Ronald out there, and we see him here as well now for the MNT Cup Series, becoming part of the family over here as well on Friday nights. And it's the first time someone's told me how to probably say his last name the correct way is Losi in that number 46 ride out there on the racetrack. Running into some issues out there on the speedway in this one, but Chris DeWeese says that is awesome looking. Yeah, it's definitely pretty awesome looking out there. And, you know, right now Braxton getting his car still repaired out there on the speedway for all the DeWeese fans on the speedway. Keeping himself kind of clean for the most part, getting collected in that wreck and part of that caution flag by that 008. Still looking pretty good. Not looking like a ton of damage on his ride. We do see the 6 of Zach Roethlisberger down there still. The 28 ride of Johnny Brugg still down pit side, as well as 54 of Yusuf Ghali going a lap down here, as well as we do see Roethlisberger trying to stay on the lead lap. Braxton DeWeese as well trying to stay on that lead lap as the lights are off. The official iRacing base car will get ready to go back to green flag racing, as Chris says car is awesome looking thanks to Paul Nichols and the Interstate Ford family. Absolutely, Chris, you should out there to Paul Nichols and the Interstate Ford family there for the DeWeese ride and the DeWeese 008 paint scheme here this evening, as we're getting stacked up, racked up, and ready to go here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. And as we do, we're going to jump into a Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. So crank up that volume, cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming for what could be our final restart of the day. ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for all these drivers as they give us a beautiful look at the sights and sounds around Kansas Speedway here this evening. These drivers putting on a great race and a great show here for us in this one as battling out there on the speedway. And now leading the way is the 91 rider Wesley Donaldson. Donaldson out in front of the field showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. So Donaldson at the front of the pack, out in front, showing them how to get it done. It's Justin Lewis back there behind him. He's about 0.8 of a second behind our race leader, and Jack Coleman about 1.5 seconds back of our second place drivers. Coleman up into position number 3 here on the speedway. Coleman put on a good show here for us as well. We talked about this 15 ride earlier when he was rolling around the 10th position. Now, we've got a couple lucky breaks. A few of our fast drivers towards the front of the field got tied up in, that caution flag during green flag pit stops, and that set them behind the ball. And then we saw a couple caution flags where they got tied up in some of the action. When you look through, we look at some of those drivers like Zach Roethlisberger back in the 12th position, got tied up in that wreck. Unfortunately, went from leading laps to back here in that midfield here, trying to battle still for working into a top 10. You look a little farther back there, you see Yusuf Ghali a lap down here in the 18th position. He's still trying to rebound from some contact, as well as Johnny Brugg, who led some laps. Johnny Brugg unfortunately got collected in that last caution flag. Quite a bit of damage done to the 28 ride, quite a few laps down now, and in the 24th position, and same with the car right there behind him. That is the 44 of John Ross, nowhere to go as he T-boned the 20 ride out there on the speedway. Caused quite a bit of carnage and quite a bit of damage there for John Ross, and for a couple of our race leaders that led laps early in this race look to be drivers in contention for the win here this evening. Not the way they wanted things to go here for Mr. Brugg or John Ross here tonight, as we do see James McRae off the speedway, John Fowler also off the racetrack. I believe Corey Rainey also off the speedway here, as we do see Brent Patterson still rolling currently right now in the 26th position. So we are down to 26 drivers still racing on the speedway, as Corey Rainey, James McRae, John Fowler, Storm Patterson, Cliff Adams, Anthony Ludi, and Leroy Koblenz all off the speedway. So about 7 drivers have already taken their cars behind pit wall here this evening. Is out in front. One driver looking to try to bring their car into victory lane and starting to stretch out that lead more and more is this 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson. As Donaldson out in front here, he has now about a 1.5 second lead advantage between himself and Justin Lewis. Now the big question is going to be, these drivers did get some caution laps here on the second half of this run. They came down pit side right around lap 50. So they should or could be close on fuel. They may have to come back down pit side though in this race, but if they can make it to the end, it could get very, very close, especially if we see a green-white checkered finish here on the night. We see that late race caution flag like we did last week. The big question is going to be, who's going to be able to kind of save some tires, who's also going to be able to have some fuel left in the tank here to maybe not have to come back down pit side in this race. If we see that late race pit stop, some of the drivers that are potentially saving a little deeper in the field, like Andrew Kalishi or Dave Mayberry, Josh Small, drivers that may have came down during that last caution break, they may have that extra 5-6 gallons of fuel in their car that can get them through a couple of the green-white checkers here this evening, where our race leaders like Wesley Donaldson, Jack Coleman, Justin Bentley, they may not have that, as now we do see Justin Bentley slide back to position number 3 here. Seems like he is certainly off the pace now, slowing that pace way, way down and falling back now into that 3rd position, allowing Jack Coleman to jump up into position number 2. So it seems like some of our race leaders are potentially starting to run a little bit more conservative, trying to maybe save that little bit of extra fuel here for late in this race to try to put themselves into the winner's circle here tonight. And that's sometimes what it takes here for some of these competitors, some of these drivers. It can come down to a missed call on pit road or the correct call on pit road to put yourself into victory lane. So you got to be very, very, give and take here. You got to be very precautious and have your calculations exactly right here. The wind up into victory lane, especially if we do not see a late race caution flag like we did last week. Last week, that caution flag came out, unfortunately, for the 44 rider. John Ross saw a double-digit lead evaporate, and his race lead ended up going from cruise control to victory lane to outside the top 10, and not the finish he was hoping for in those final couple green-white checkers, as he was about a lap and a half from checkered flag and a lap and a half from victory. Unfortunately, it all went away as that late race caution flag was thrown. Hopefully, Wesley Donaldson does not have the same fate here this afternoon, as he's hoping to see this one go clean and green to the end here for that 91 ride. Is down out of corner number 4. He's going to make a green flag pit stop. So there you go. The fuel was going to be a very, very tight issue here for a lot of these drivers. And now Donaldson down pit side. He's going to make this green flag pit stop. Now, we saw drivers that came down pit side early last time. During green flag pit stops, we saw that mid kind of break caution flag where it trapped a lot of these drivers a lap down, really set them back behind the ball here in this race. So pitting early can have its benefactors, but pitting a little later can also be very, very good as well, as we get a new race leader as the AC Delco number 15 ride of Chad Coleman takes over this race. And now out in front of the field is Justin Bentley back there in second. Christian Delgado up into position number 3 here in the 07 ride. So Delgado there in third as Andrew Palishi down to his inside as they battle door to door for that third spot here on the Speedway. What is our current hard charger on the racetrack is the Red Bull number 97 ride of Brian Huntley Jr. There in the 5th position on the Speedway, as the number 6 Zach Roethlisberger back there behind him in that 6th position is, unfortunately for the 008 ride there of Braxton DeWeese, he is a lap down here on the Speedway, so he's kind of chilling right there behind that 97 ride, down a lap, trying to keep himself maybe in a free pass position here on the Speedway. But right now, having himself a good race, trying to stay out of trouble. And there you go! Caution flag going to come back out here once again. That's what we were talking about. Oh, brother, these late race caution flags and the middle of green flag pit stops really hurting some of these drivers here this evening. And that is another big one, as a late race caution flag. I'm not sure who that was. It was one of the Sim Motion rides. I think it was Ronald Losey who gets tied up in this one. Losey in the 46 here on the apron down the front straightaway. Comes back onto the racetrack and then goes back down onto the apron into corner number 1. The car gets loose, slides up the Speedway. Almost looking at what was our race leader, but then coming back down onto the racetrack. 46 right goes around up into the outside fence, and he collects his Sim Motion teammate. And a bunch of other drivers here as well. See the 9 ride collected. We believe that is the 21 getting around right there. But we do see, oh man, I was going to say that might have been the good break for the 07 rider, Christian Delgado. But I do believe Delgado slams into this number 46 ride. And this may create a ton of carnage here for him. A ton of damage is right here. The 46 ride up into the outside fence. The 07 ride slams into him. You see the hood up on that car. He slides down the racetrack, and a ton of right front damage here for that 07 of Christian Delgado. That right front pointed the wrong direction here compared to the left front tire. Then we see a couple other drivers getting up and into this one as well. Let's take a look here. It's the 39 rider, Josh Small, who slams into the side of this 46 ride. Another driver trying to stay up and out of the way here. Unfortunately, gets a piece of it. Heavy contact there for him, and that's a tough break right there. If you're the 39 ride of Josh Small slamming into this one, let's see if we can jump on board and take a look here from the helmet cam of the 39 ride on what happens here as sends it into the corner. Sees a little bit of smoke right here, then sees that car up against the fence, thinking that he was going to be able to find a lane, and unfortunately could not find that lane, and unfortunately could not get onto the binders quick enough, and created a ton of carnage there for the 39 ride of Josh Small. And for the 07 of Christian Delgado, who's down pit side getting a ton of work done to his car, is now out in front leading the way here, showing us the 9 ride, the Food City Machine of Bradley King as our race leader. But he's going to come down pit side this time, so Drivers coming down pit road, going to make some pit stops here, and that should hand the race lead back over to the 16 ride here of Justin Bentley. So Bentley out in front with Chad Coleman in position number 2. The Smart Food number 82 of Andrew Palischi now into third with Zach Roethlisberger back up and inside the top 5 here for the 6th ride. The Valvoline machine, they're in position number 4 and going to be looking for more. The Red Bull Racing 97 of Brian Huntley Jr. will now be in position number 5 with Christian Proctor, Max Gamble, Derek Catt, Justin Lewis, our top 9 here on the Speedway. Bradley King, William Burton, they're in 10th and 11th. Dave Mayberry will be our 12th place driver. Wesley Donaldson currently being scored in 13th, and you see him behind the official AMR Racing pace car. So he's looking for the wave around, looking to try to get back onto the lead lap here for the 91 machine. And right now, he's going to need that wave around in a quick hurry. We see a few other drivers there as well, looking for that wave around the 28 ride of Brugg, looking for the wave around the 48 as well. We'll see the 24 ride and the 31 all right there. Zachary Nerney getting that wave around. Michael Moquin getting the wave as well. So drivers that were laps down here just trying to kind of rebound, maybe salvage as much as they can here in this race. See John Ross there as well, going to get the wave around, and the 1 ride of Kerry Klein getting the wave here as well, as Kerry Klein still with a ton of front end damage here. But you do see the lights turn off the official AMR Racing pace car. All those drivers that were in front of our race leaders here that were a lap down will get the wave around back in front of the pace car. So they'll get a lap back, some of them back onto the lead lap, some of them still multiple laps down on the racetrack. So just trying to salvage what they can as we'll get ready for a late race restart here with the MNT Cup Series. We'll see 13 more laps left to go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys came here for a show. Well, here you go, as this is going to be a Friday night special 12-lap shootout to the end of this one, and we may not be done seeing caution flags fly. So the caution flags may not be done yet. There could still be more issues on the speedway for a lot of these competitors. So we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out, as out in front it's Justin Bentley leading the way here. He is the control car down through the Geico restart zone. Jack Coleman there to his outside. Andrew Palischi there in position number 3. Zach Roethlisberger, Brian Huntley Jr., Christian Proctor, Max Gamble, Derek Catt, William Burton, Bradley King. Our top 10 here on the Speedway as we go back to Green Flag Racing here on this beautiful Friday the 13th here in September for the MNT Cup Series. As Justin Bentley with a great late race restart here, leading us down through corner number 1 and out of corner number 2, looking to try to open up this lead just ever so slightly, as right there behind him Jack Coleman trying to track him down, and that 6th rider Zach Roethlisberger trying to put himself up inside the top 3 against the outside fence for Justin Bentley. Gonna leave the bottom side open here. The 15 ride closed right into his back bumper, got within striking distance, unfortunately could not pull up door to door with our race leader. So Justin Bentley will lead another lap here, as down into corner number 1, back down and out of corner number 2. The 16 machine looking to try to run away with this one, but he's got a ton of pressure right here to his back bumper. Is Jack Coleman going to take a peek down to the inside lane? So Coleman in the AC Delco ride looking for the race lead as the MNT Motorsports number 16 to the outside. They go door to door down the front straightaway, and it's Justin Bentley able to lead that lap just by a little bit, but Coleman is there and he is looking for this race lead. We talked about this 15 ride early in the race. He was hanging out around the 10th place early on, and he was one of those drivers we talked about. This is a racetrack that is a lot alike Charlotte Motor Speedway. We saw this 15 ride pick up the win at Charlotte last season, and here he is out in front of the field here once again, as he was able to kind of work himself up through the traffic, put himself into the right position. He may be looking for another win at a 1.5 mile speedway here this evening, as Coleman at the front of the field. Bentley now back to second as Zach Roethlisberger there in third. Brian Huntley Jr. in the Red Bull number 97 ride over the back bumper of the 6 machine into the corner here, as Huntley there in that 4th position. Andrew Palischi back there in position number 5. Christian Proctor trying to work himself inside the top 5 as Max Campbell there in 7th with Derek Catt, Justin Lewis, and the 91 of Wesley Donaldson bringing up our top 10 here on the Speedway. Now, before that caution flag, we saw the 91, the 7 right at the front of the field. They came down pit side, made green flag pit stops. We're lucky to get the wave arounds back onto the lead lap here and now trying to rebound. We'll see if they have enough time to work themselves back to the front of the field, but this one is going to be very, very interesting. As Rusty, my boy Mr. Rusty Martin coming in, showing the love, says, Aaron, what happened to John Ross? Just got in here because I was working on getting my new triple set up and working. Let's go, brother. Some new triples for Mr. Rusty Martin. What happened to John Ross is, unfortunately, John was in the middle of a pit strategy, green flag pit stops. He was leading early on in this race and battling up inside the top 5. And then as green flag pit stops were underway, we saw the 20 ride unfortunately go around. The 20 rider James McRae went around trying to get down to pit road speed. He came back out onto the racetrack there. He slid around back up onto the speedway right in front of John Ross. Ross unfortunately T-boned the side of James McRae, and that pretty much ended the evening for James McRae and created a ton of damage for John Ross. He's still rolling out there on the speedway trying to get everything he can out there. Unfortunately, multiple laps down and back in the 23rd position. Not the way he wanted. Another MNT Series race to go. As out in front, Chad Coleman leading the way here late in this one, looking to try to pick up the checker flag is Justin Bentley, Zach Roethlisberger, Andrew Palisci, and Brian Huntley Jr. trying to track him down. We see Christian Proctor there in 6th, and then the 91 ride of Wesley Donaldson there in that 7th position. He was leading the way before another caution flag interrupted green flag pit stops. He got caught one lap down, was able to get the wave around back onto the lead lap and trying to work himself back up in through the field. Unfortunately, he may run out of time here in this one, as out in front, the 15 of Chad Coleman. Ryan is leading the way down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy out at corner number 4. The 16 of Bentley trying to track down the 15 Ryan here at Kansas Speedway as we see 3 more laps left to go. Rusty says, damn, SSR guys causing havoc on MNT Lab. Yeah, they were definitely causing some havoc here in this one. They've been collected in and caused a couple caution flags here tonight, but you know what, that's all a part of racing. Unfortunately, just they were sometimes in the wrong place, the wrong time, or just contact and spinning someone around or getting spun around themselves out there on the speedway. But out in front right now, not hoping for a caution flag, hoping to see this one go clean and green is down across the line. We see 2 more laps left to go for Coleman. At the front of the field, looking to try to put this AC Delco number 15 right into victory lane as Justin Bentley in the MNT Motorsports number 16 tries to track him down in the Valvoline Mark Martin throwback paint scheme. The number 6 right of Zach Roethlisberger trying to come home in that 3rd spot here on the speedway. Is down at a corner number 4, and for the final time here this evening from Kansas Speedway, we will see the white flag fly. So one more time around here for Chad Coleman as the AC Delco ride trying to go to victory lane, but Justin Bentley trying to track him down here on the closing lap as the U.S. flag number 16 ride up into the outside fence, trying to push it that much more to try to hunt down our race leader. But down for the final time through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4, the AC Delco number 15 of Chad Coleman cannot be stopped. He cannot be denied here this evening from Kansas Speedway as he picks up the checkered flag here in the MNT Cup Series. Chad Coleman will pick up the win with Justin Bentley back there in tow and Zach Roethlisberger rounding out our top 3 here on the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up for our race winner in that number 15 machine, Chad Coleman, getting it done and pulling himself up into victory lane here this evening. What a run and what a race right there for Mr. Coleman. My gosh, that was one heck of a run, one heck of a drive here this evening for that 15 ride as he's going to burn down the house and celebrate here on the Kansas Speedway front straightaway. Woo! Baby, what a run, what a drive, man. That was a ton of fun. Saw some big wrecks and some big checks being cashed here at the end of this evening, and the AC Delco machine happy to be back up here in victory lane. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we talked about him early in this race. We saw him at the end of last season come on very, very strong at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Wasn't in the playoff hunt for the championship, but he was able to pick up the win in that championship race. And Charlotte, a lot like Kansas here. I figured this 15 ride was going to be tough towards the end of this race, and here you go. He's up and in victory lane as we'll get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth in this one, man. What a run, what a drive, what a performance here by all of these competitors here throughout the evening, man. These guys never slowed down, never gave up, never backed down out there on the racetrack. And we saw a few caution flags, a little bit of beating and banging here and there, but at the end of the day, these guys put on one heck of a race, one heck of a show here for us. Now we'll have to wait and see when these drivers jump up into the broadcast waiting room here. We'll wait and see when they hop in here and when we can get them in for their post-race interviews. Hoping to see these drivers hop in here in a quick hurry. But before you guys go, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, man. It was a lot of fun. That was a great race. These guys put on one heck of a show here for us in this one as yeah, I don't see anyone in the broadcast waiting room yet. I don't see Chad Coleman in any of the Discord channels. I do not see that number 15 in any of the channels here, so that's a tough call right there. Can't just pull him in. We can pull in our second place finisher, Justin Bentley. We do see Justin waiting patiently here. So let's see if we can pull our second place driver up into the broadcast booth here first and wait and see if we can get Coleman in here a little bit later. So let's see if we can get this number 16 right up in here. Justin Bentley coming home in second. Let's see if we can pull him up into the booth here, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Justin, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Justin, brother, man, a great run, a great drive here for you in this one as you pull that 16 right up here onto the podium, man. Take us back through this race as we saw you battling up through the top 10 for most of this race, and then a little bit of chaos, a little bit of carnage out there on the racetrack opened up the door for you to roll yourself up inside the top 3, and from that point on, you were kind of right here in contention, leading some laps, and, you know, having that top spot for that final restart here, looking to try to pick up the checkered flag. Unfortunately, you just couldn't hold off that number 15 of Chad Coleman here this evening.
Yeah, it was a good race. I had good long run pace. I was saving some tires there at the first, and I kind of fell back and was starting to knife back through the field. And this setup and this car and track combo, it really went towards my strengths in our race. And it was just overall good race, and caught some cautions at the right times and put me in position to win. I honestly thought I had a great shot at it. 15 made some contact with me, jacked me up going into turn 3 on one of them laps. There was about 7 or 8 to go, and it was over then. But yeah, I'm just proud of the effort and overall happy with it.
Absolutely, could never be too upset about a solid top 2 run here on the evening. You gain a lot of points towards the championship here, and as we talked about, last week, kind of stacking those pennies, having good runs, and getting these great finishes, and having that opportunity to run for the championship here in 8 more races is the main goal here for every one of you drivers, and especially for yourself.
Yeah, man, that was the goal. I come in today wanting to collect some points, and I got some bonus points there and everything. So it should help for the longevity of this. So hopefully we can stay consistent here and fight for a championship.
Absolutely, and talking about consistency, we saw some of those drivers that, ran towards the front of the field last week, including the 28 rider, Johnny Brugg. Brugg, unfortunately, getting collected there, and some of that, the caution flag timeliness there, and then into some of the carnage as well as, a couple of those green flag pit stops kind of got underway. We saw some drivers pitting early, and twice here tonight, those early pit stops seem to come back and bite drivers in the butt here this evening.
Yeah, yeah, it sure did. Like I said, it was all around a strategy race. It was just pitting and catching the pits at the right time and not being back there in the mess to get caught up in it. So I was thankful for that.
Absolutely, brother. Well, you pull the 16 right up here into position number 2. Justin, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening at Kansas Speedway?
Yeah, man, thank you. First off, I'd like to thank our league admin team here. Everybody works toward this. Derek, Clay, Zach, Mike Peters, Fred Anderson. We have a great admin team. We work hard for this, and it's showing. We're putting a great product on the track. I'd like to thank our race controller, Amir. He does an awesome job. I'd like to thank you, Aaron, for the broadcast. It's always awesome. The excitement is 10 the entire race. We love having you. We appreciate you. I'd like to thank my mom. If she watches these races, glad she could watch back-to-back podium runs. Thank our sponsors, Morgan-McClure Motorsports. They come in, like I said last week, with a big sponsorship. Amir, he sponsors us now. He's on board with us. Blue Ridge Auto Group, Abington, Virginia. Pro Air Medical Solutions up in Michigan. Just couldn't do it without all of our partners, broadcast, everybody. It's just a team effort. I'd like to thank everybody.
Absolutely, brother. A team effort and a good team run here this evening as you pull yourself up into position number 2. As you said, back-to-back good finishes to start the season and trying to just be that, that driver that just stays most consistent throughout the season to give yourself that opportunity of the championship, brother. And we can't wait to see how it all plays out for you. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Friday.
Yeah, man. Thank you very much. Sure appreciate it.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Congratulations again on the second-place run.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Justin Bentley. Is Bentley coming home here in position number 2? We'll get ready to pull our race winner up here as he's finally done celebrating with the group down there on the front straightaway. He is up here in victory lane. He's taking the helmet off, and he is ready to show the excitement up here in the broadcast booth as we're going to pull him up into the channel. Hey, Chad, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Chad, brother, what a run, what a win here this evening as you pulled that 15 right into victory lane at Kansas Speedway. Take us back through this one as we saw you work yourself up through the field. Got some timely benefits there with those caution flags and trapping some drivers back there behind you, either being a lap down or having to take those waiver rounds, taking the green flag pit stops a little earlier than everybody, and it worked out definitely in your favor and a lot of other drivers' favor here this evening.
Yeah, I think if the race runs out, everybody, nobody gets knocked out of it, I'm probably fifth place car. This just isn't a really good track for me. I mean, I'm okay here, but it's not a great track for me. And then right there, we ran that first run long, and I figured if I was as loose as I was off the corner, then there was probably somebody riding around that was a little freer than I was, so I was going to wait it out, and they crashed somewhere, and then the timing of that trapped those, top 4 or 5 guys, and they had to take the wave around. And when you put, 4 or 5 fast guys behind the field like that, it's just, you're kind of asking for a caution, and that's what happened. And then right there at the end, Wesley had this thing. Wesley had this thing wrapped up after everything happened at the first of the race. He is so much faster than, the guys that were left, and he might have been as fast as the guys that were late early. It's just he didn't have he burned his stuff up in the first run. But right there at the end, he was flying, and I didn't have anything for him. I was probably going to finish third at best, and everything just seemed to work out right there, and it kind of fell in our lap.
Absolutely, definitely kind of fell in your lap right there to sum it up as we saw, obviously, Wesley come down pit side early. That kind of took him out of this one as the caution flag came out. He had to get that wave around, had to work himself up through the traffic. He was still flying out there, able to work himself back up into 6th here, but ran out of time to try to get back into the fight here at the front of the field as you and Justin and Zach were trying to push away from everybody else and try to pick up the win here, but you were able to kind of get that little bit of advantage there as you worked around the 16 right of Justin Bentley on that final restart. No contact, nothing really major there, but the two of you guys battling hard for this race win and what was the final pass at the front of the field here of the evening as you were able to get around him and take that race lead away and then kind of run away with this one there in those closing laps to put yourself up here into victory lane.
Yeah, and that's another thing too. I gotta apologize to Justin. I was trying to side draft him a little bit, getting into 3, and I got a little bit too close, and I got him in the door, and it wiggled him a little bit. But at that, same at the same point there, I was trying to go. He had some right front damage, and I was trying to get by him as quick as I could to try to put some distance on the couple of the guys that were coming behind us, and so I had to be a little aggressive there. I didn't mean to get into him. I was just trying to side draft to get away from him a little bit right there, and so sorry for the contact between us right there. It wiggled him a little bit, kind of no harm, no foul, but yeah, it worked. So we'll go on. I'm not sure when I'll make another one of these. It may be next week. Depends on the rain, really. If Friday night stuff gets rained out, but I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Absolutely. We always enjoy watching it out there on the racetrack. Now, we talked early in this race, if you go back and watch the broadcast, you're running around the 10th position, and I talked about how this racetrack kind of has that, bit of a Charlotte feel to it. The same kind of racing surface, mile-and-a-half speedway, just a little less banking, but we saw how you performed last year in our championship race, picking up the win there at Charlotte. You were kind of my early call to maybe have a good run and being able to steal this win. So we kind of called it here as you pull yourself up into victory lane, man. Did you take anything that you kind of had as experience from Charlotte and applied it here to this racetrack?
Not too much. I mean, tried to save a little bit of tire there at the beginning of the race, and it really didn't seem to matter because Wesley had a good bit worse tire wear than I did, and he was right there running third and still running faster lap times than me. So I think I waited at the first of the race. I think I waited too long to move up, but once I moved up, I kind of got away from the guys I was racing with right there behind me, and I caught some of the back half of that, that group, and it was just too much time I gave up right there. Just probably running the wrong line and not running hard enough. But it worked out in the end, so I'm okay with it.
Absolutely. Definitely worked out in the end for you as you pull yourself up here into victory lane. Chad, who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening and picking up the win here in the MNT Cup Series?
I got to thank all the admins of this league. I know from helping with some other stuff, setting up league stuff and getting races done is not an easy thing. There's a lot of work involved, so thank to them for the races. Thanks to Wesley, he was kind of a teammate tonight, and thanks for you for the broadcast. And we'll go back and give it a look when we get a chance.
Absolutely, brother. Well, congratulations on the win here tonight. We look forward to hopefully seeing you back out there on the racetrack next week or a few more times throughout the season, and maybe another trip or two back up here into the broadcast booth.
Yeah, man. Be nice. Thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the win.
Yeah, thanks.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there to our race winner, Chad Coleman. As Coleman picking up the win here this evening as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finishers. We've already heard from Justin Bentley, who came home in second. And then right there, our race winner, Chad Coleman, coming into the booth here as we'll get ready to pull in our third place drivers. He's down pit side. We'll bring in Zach Roethlisberger here this evening for our third and final post-race interview. Hey, Zach, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, how's it going?
Not too bad, brother. Another bit of a wild run here for you. Another bit of a good rebound as one of those caution flags during green flag pit stops came to bite you in the butt early in this race. You had to rebound from that one. Luckily enough, a couple caution flags kind of got you back onto the lead lap and back into contention here, but then you had to try to make up all that track position. And throughout this race, slowly but surely, you start picking them off and get back up here towards the top 5, and then all of a sudden you make a couple moves, you get yourself up here into that third spot, and then you have to try to hang on to it as you had a lot of very, very good drivers back there in your back bumper. We saw, Brian Hundley Jr., Andrew Palishi, hopefully I'm saying that right, Palishi there in position number 5, and Wesley Donaldson, Christian Proctor, all right there trying to get around you late in this race.
Yeah, I thought once so what happened was that caution flag caught me a lap down there at the beginning of the race, and then one of the next caution, I was like one of the cars in the caution. I hit somebody head on in the straightaway, and I came down pit road, and I had like a minute and a half of optional, and then I was down like 30 RPM, so I figured my night was over. Came, got a lot of it fixed, and went back out there. and actually was good on fuel. If that last like long run we had would have went green, I would have been fine. Like I think I would have won the race had it went green all the way. But figured with the way that the how hard the car was to handle, it was probably slim to none chances that was going to happen. And then that last run there, I just tried to drive on the top, being that's the most defensive line at Kansas, but I was so down on the straightaway in power, I would gain a little bit of time in the corner, and then I'd lose it all in the straightaway. So I had to be as defensive as I could there to hold those guys off. But yeah, to come back and finish P3 out of that deal, we'll take that for sure. Because I remember saying as I hit on the front straightaway, I'm like, man, my night's over.
Absolutely, that hard hit. We saw a few other drivers getting collected in that one, and we saw a lot of drivers getting collected in incidences here this evening. Now, is it just, is it the setup or is it the racetrack just being so hot and slick out there that really made these cars a handful in the evenings? It didn't seem like, our race winner, Coleman, or second place driver Bentley really talked too much about tire wear. It didn't seem like the tire wear was a major factor, but this racetrack seemed to be a handful here this evening.
Oh, tire wear was huge. That first run there, I got my doors blown off just based on how the setup was. I was running there with Johnny, and I didn't feel like I was pushing the car hard at all, and evidently I was. And you just basically had to crawl around here for the first 20 laps if you wanted to have any long run pace. And I think that was what was causing a lot of the guys to spin out, is you would get so loose off if you were driving that car right on the limit the first couple laps there, that I think it was really hard to handle. So, I thought tire wear played a factor into it. Kansas, it gets really tight, especially out of 3 and 4. Like when you come off the corner of 4, it gets, you feel like you've got all the room in the world, and then it just kind of, at the last second is taken away. It gets super narrow there, and I think a lot of cars tend to come together there out of 4. So I think that played a part of it. I think the setup was hard to handle. So I think you throw all those factors into play, and then you had guys pitting and guys staying out, and the guys that were pitting were 2 seconds faster, per lap than those guys. So they're coming at you with such a closing rate of speed that it was really tough to kind of gauge, and I'm not sure what the last cause of the caution was there, but I'm guessing that, probably played a factor into it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, you're able to hang on to it. You're able to rebound here and still come home with a solid top 3 run here on the evening. And your hopes for a championship here in season number 2 of the MNT Cup Series. Zach, who would you like to thank for such a great run and great race here and being able to rebound and come home with a podium finish?
Yeah, I just thank all the admins for all the work that they do, putting everything into this. We've got a good team. Myself, Clay Cantrell, Derek Catt, Justin Bentley, Mike Peters, Fred Anderson, that all do a good job and have made this fun. Tonight's race was a little bit more, I think we had a little bit more confrontation than we usually have. So, hopefully the drivers, can, let it pass and just, take it for what it was. I thought it was, a fun night overall. But thanks to all the drivers for all them coming out. Thanks to Bradley King for securing the sponsorship for us. Morgan-McClure Motorsports, the 1991 and 94 and 5 Daytona 500 champions, are actually our presenting sponsor. So thank you for them for everything that they do. And then thank you for you in the broadcast for all that you do and giving us a platform to race. And thank you to AMR up in the race control booth as well. I always enjoy having somebody who's a third party who isn't tied to, the results in this league, being able to do that.
Absolutely, definitely awesome to have that third-party race control up there, making all the unbiased, calls for caution or, jumping restarts or anything else that goes against the rules here in the series to make things, even more of a fair game and more fun out there on the speedway for all of you drivers, man. We saw some great fun here this evening. Obviously, some drivers having a little bit more fun than other drivers out there on the racetrack, but man, it was a blast up here in the booth, and we can't wait to see you guys back in action next Friday as well. But Zach, congrats on the 3rd place run, congrats on the great finish, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here in the broadcast booth.
Thanks, Aaron. Appreciate it, brother.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
See you, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our 3rd place finisher, Zach Roethlisberger. Zach coming home here in position number 3. A great run and a great drive there for that number 6 machine. As Doug Middledorf coming in, showing the love, says, look fast, number 8, Braxton Deweese. Nowhere to go. Let's get him next time. Yes, Sirski. Doug says, congrats to the winner and great broadcast, fellas. I appreciate that. Doug coming in, showing the love here in this one. Mo Quinn M coming in with that love as well over there on the YouTube channel. Says, I had a fast number 48 and was running up front most of the night. Mental error cost me right when the last caution came out. Thank you for the broadcast. Absolutely, Mo. Absolutely, my boy. Coming in showing the love here. And yeah, you were having a great run, man. We saw you hanging out right there, you know, around that 10th position through a lot of this race here. And, you know, still having a good run, a good race out there. Not really getting yourself into any trouble or having too many issues out there on the speedway. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that is going to do it for us here this evening. If you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button on the broadcast, hit that share, hit that follow, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already become part of the Peacemaker family here today, or if you're watching over on Facebook or Twitch, make sure you hit that follow button as we're live on all 3 channels. If you want to help us out with day-to-day operations, there's the donation button you guys can always hit, or you know, Twitch's bits or Facebook stars, or the direct donos over there on the donation link on YouTube, or you guys can help us out by becoming part of an even bigger family here on our channel, and that is the Peacemaker Sub Club, by hitting the join button, becoming a member, part of the Peacemaker members group over on YouTube, or hitting that subscribe button over on Twitch and Facebook, become part of the Peacemaker Sub Club here this evening. Is day-to-day operations doesn't take an army to do this. It's me, myself, and I up here in the booth, but you know, paying the all the bills and everything else to be able to keep on doing this full time and being able to put on some great content, great racing here for everybody, man. If we all work together, you know, it can make my life a little bit easier, give me more time up here in the booth, and maybe a couple more new suits here for myself to be able to wear and show off up here, as we always dress to impress here on Peacemaker Gaming. But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to do it for us here this evening. Thank y'all for tuning in, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. But thank y'all for watching. Huge congratulations to our top 3 and all these drivers once again putting on a great show here this evening, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! What a run, what a race, what a show that these guys just put on for us.
Engines roar, the night is bright, crowds alive under the lights, speeding fast, hearts racing wild, chasing dreams like a child. Rubber burns, the tracks aflame, who will rise to win the fame? Friday night, the stakes are high, in the blink cars fly by. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound. Drivers push on every turn, feel the heat, feel the burn. Tires screech, racing so close, eyes sharp tight as a ghost. Adrenaline in every vein, under stars pushing through rain. Side by side, sparks in the night, every lap chasing the light. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound.